So what is the strategic transformation plan? It's about demographic representation to change SARU's demographic profile at provincial and national level on and off the field of play. This is actually the day we signed the Indaba and Monte Casino. Am I not there? Yeah. No wonder it's a good plan. I wasn't part of it. Oh yeah, there I am. Yes, I see you made it to it on it as well. So, access to the game to ensure rugby is accessible to all who wish to participate, including women, disabled persons, and people in rural areas. Massive thing. We need to give access to the game. One of our major issues is we don't have control over schools. Schools falls within the Department of Education, not within the Department of Sports and Recreation. We can go to the Minister of Sport and talk about schools programs as long as we want. You know who we need to talk to? We need to talk to the headmaster of Kasselsley. The headmaster of Paul Gym. We don't have to talk to him, they're good already. You know, you need to talk to any headmaster. Those are the guys that are giving us access to the schools. It's the Department of Education. Now, one of our major struggles is we can't test. We can't test for any substance abuse on school level, because there's 8 large substance you're allowed to test within the Department of Education and the Education Act. None of those are actually applied to us. So we need to work on this. So we go through our own programs, and we use this, and we use all the tools that are out there. This is getting to rugby. This is tag. This is all of the grassroots elements to get as many people access to rugby. And we've got a very holistic approach about this. In the first instance, what we want is to introduce people to sport, just activity. If you recall, all sport was taken out of school a couple of years ago. We just want them to be active. Then hopefully, when they start getting active and they get introduced to rugby, they will choose rugby as their preferred sport. And this is such an easy thing to do, because within the new programs, you can do this on tarmac, cement, the worst piece of grass you've ever seen, or the most beautiful piece of turf you've ever seen. And this is a massive program that is rolled out into all of the unions. We've had a couple of pilot studies, and we're now going to all of the unions across the board. And the detail of that you can discuss in length with Mervyn, who is the owner of this. Skills and capacity development to create development pathways for players, coaches, referees, and administrators to improve productivity and performance levels. Now, guys, what are we talking here? Long-term player development. There's an overall plan designed by SASCOC and the Department of Sports and Recreation. We have signed, we're part of that plan. It means we've got the long-term player development of a player. That's why we went and wrote in all the softwares. It's no use we subscribe to a plan with SASCOC and the Department of Sports and Rec, and we can't track it, we can't trace it, and we've got no idea where the people are. We are in that structure now. We already control a lot more than we did 3 or 4 years ago. Guys, if you look at the under-20 team, we can probably select the under-20 team of 4 years now out of the under-16s, because we're tracking them already. There's no Cravenwick teams that are an SA school team that are now selected without us actually knowing who the guys are that are going to come through in that structure. That's why the under-20s are performing, because we took control at the under-16 level. We take control of the under-16 camps, we take control of the under-18 camps, and we track a player from the beginning to the end. And through this, everything is online. Everything is online. And how do we do that? We make it a simple process so that the guy can access it through the phone. So computers, laptops, those facilities are very difficult. Everybody in this country has got a phone, has got access to a phone, and that's the way we do it. We obviously do it in hard copy. We do the same for coaches. Our referees program has worked excellently, and we're busy with the administrators program, and we'll roll this out. But this is across the board. This is in every union. This is in every subcommittee in every union. It's in their corporate governance. It's in their excos, etc. So it's about creating the skills and the capability. Because in fairness, guys, what happened in 1995 when we turned professional? Everybody that was in the business, by default, became the administrators. With no disrespect on any level, but neither the unions nor South African Rugby did anything to upskill those individuals. We just left them to their own. So we've got to do something. We've got to change it on every level. And we've got to start at the bottom. That's why we do club-wise. If our clubs are administrated correctly, those guys will become the elected officials in the unions, or will become the employed officials in the unions, and from there they will become either the elected or employed officials within its SA Rugby. So you've got to start from the bottom up. Performance, to deliver competitive and world-class performances on and off the field of play by focusing on quality and application of the principle of merit. Guys, off the field, I've got no qualms. We are a different federation from where we were. We do things better. Yes, we make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Stuff is always going to go through the cracks. But from a governance point of view, from being on time, being at the right place, doing everything correctly in terms of administrative processes, of rolling out of competition structures, of all of what we should do within that environment, we are doing it correctly. And it's scary to see the level of planning that goes into national teams, that goes into competitions, that goes into everything that is surrounded with off-the-field issues. And on the field, we've got the best coaching people in our system at the moment. I get tired of reading the planning documents on the Springboks and on the under-20s and the SA schools and all of those things. I get tired of reading all of the detail of the blueprints on how we're going to play rugby, on the coaching systems that we're going out. We're on the right track. We just need to win, because in this country, unfortunately, there's only one thing. We can basically stuff up and nobody would really care if the Springboks are winning every game. That's the reality of it. We don't want to live that way, and we ensure that everything off the field is correct, because we believe games are won in offices, not on the pitch. If the office is correct, the pitch will follow. Community development and social initiatives. Guys, we've rolled out our box for books. You know, our biggest CSI program is obviously in conjunction with the Chris Berger, Pedro Jackson, and with that, the Box Mart, making rugby a safer sport in this country, absolutely essential. With all of the perceptions that are out there on rugby and how brutal the game is, etc., it's a necessity, or else the moms and the dads won't allow their kids to play rugby anymore. And then we've got a number of other initiatives in terms of disadvantaged people through our clothing, our kit, etc. And this is run through Pastor Kaya there, and on the Box for Books we've done exceptionally well. And it's one of the dimensions that everybody's got to ride on. Corporate governance, guys, each and every one. We've made constitutional changes. We are busy making constitutional changes to give us greater and better access to what is the unions out there.